Ah, yes. Good old Discord. Truly a platform with no bias, censorship, or abuse of power. But today we're not going to be talking about anyone's partner server. No, no, no. For this Discord debate takes place in a very humble place. All debates on Discord usually derive from one simple thing a joke. Now, I don't know what it is with Discord users and their infatuation with giving their opinion on a simple, funny post with when really nobody could care less, but this has led to quite possibly one of, if not the greatest debates of Discord, at least this year. It all starts with, of course, a post. A funny little joke. The video discusses Mario and whether or not he's ballin. Now the video draws the conclusion that Mario do indeed be ballin, despite all the odds. But I was a curious lad, for I had more questions on my mind. I asked the question, what will he average? 'Cause, let's be honest here, if you put basketball and any, let's just say, character from a different sort of time-space continuum, you're going to want to compare them to the NBA league. You want to see how they fare. So I ran my little silly simulations, I did my comparisons, and I figured Mario would probably be a Kyrie Irving-like player, mid-20s in points, assists are middle of the pack, okay defensively on the perimeter, and very efficient scoring from the field, but usually that's due to the fact that he doesn't take many threes, but when he does take them, he makes them at a pretty efficient rate. Only things I changed really were the rebounding, because Mario's vertical is ridiculous, and it is the topic of this discussion here, as you'll come to find, and free throw, because, well, due to the fact that Mario's short stature it'll make it, let's just say, difficult for him to properly gauge the angles needed to make the perfect free throw. Now, of course, somebody had to come in and challenge my beliefs. He said that he thought Mario's rebounding was a little low, which I thought was absolutely preposterous because I already boosted it enough. I mean, 8 rebounds for a undersized guard is ridiculous, but more? That's a double-double threat. So naturally, I had to respond. So I defended my point by saying that Mario to average plus 10 rebounds would basically be impossible. He'd have to go full Russell Westbrook my career mode, be a liability to his team, and he's only mind you, Mario's only 3'8", and a very, very small stature, meaning that he'd have trouble boxing anybody out to get any rebounds and would easily be bullied on the boards if he tried to get any offensive rebounds. So I said 8 rebounds is even a stretch. I don't know why you'd think he'd average more. The opposition responds to this by saying Mario has a very, very high vertical, around 25 feet in fact. And he's actually 5'1", which I will basically get to. This is completely false, as this is the statue in Japan, while Mario in game has been exhibited as 3'8". But what he's trying to say is that Mario, despite the fact that he has a small stature, his vertical more than makes up for that, and his speed as well, will also allow him to not only be a plus 10 rebounder, but also closer to 35 points per game. Now I of course fire back, as I believe his evidence that he provides with Mario being 5'1" is false. But then I also point out the fact that Mario's body mass index rating is plus 30, making him extremely obese. Now this would normally be a problem in the Mushroom Kingdom, but I bring this up because how could this mean, right, with a body index mass of that much, how could he be faster than most marathon runners? In the argument, he states that his incredible speed will lead to more points per game, but I fail to see how that's possible considering he's obese. And another factor I would like to consider is I said, what about injury? With that much athleticism, right, and an extremely large frame, it could be very, very easy for him to get injured. I mean, think about this. Like, he's jumping 25 feet in the air, fat as hell. All that weight he's putting on his feet landing, he's going to get injured, basically. This could be another Derrick Rose situation, I say. And I also point out the fact that Mario's IQ might not be the best, especially on the offensive end, which basically offensive rebounds are a whole different ball game when it comes to like defensive rebounds are just Winnie Hut Jr. stuff. You see, the thing about offensive rebounding is that you have to have a knack. You have to have the IQ to be able to not only get in front of larger defenders who are trying to box you out, but you also have to know when to go for the rebound. Mistime it, and you're basically stuck, and the last one in transition, allowing for a free bucket. So if Mario were to try and average 10 plus rebounds, he'd have to go for some offensive rebounds, which could lead to disaster on the defensive end. Now, this next point he brings up actually kind of got me, because he basically backs up the fact that Mario's speed would be increased to the point where he would be unmatched on this world. And also his vertical leap, is adjusted, which basically makes him a freak athlete. In regards to the injuries, he did bring up a good point as well about Mario possessing superhuman strength, meaning that his legs would most likely not give out as easily as, say, a normal person. Mario is not human. However, he did agree on the point about basketball IQ, and said that it's a fact of if his physical and athletic prowess can make up for that. So after this, I decided, okay, I need to go pick up like some actual evidence here. And so that's what I do. I go look at some footage of Mario ballin', and I admit it. After watching him play, he is an athletic specimen. I was wrong about the body mass index and the fact that he wouldn't be that fast, he wouldn't be able to box out, jump that high, get the rebounds. However, I found a slew of other problems. The first thing I did was I pulled up Mario's stats, which I know they look low, but mind you, these quarters were only 2 quarters, and they were both 2 minutes 3 seconds long. So I'm not going to look too much at the points, rebounds, assists. Steals were pretty impressive, but I want to take your attention to field goal 3-point percentage, in which Mario put up absolutely abysmal percentages, almost as bad as Danny Green's, which, I mean, Jesus Christ, but regardless, let's move on. So I say basically that I found Mario's IQ to be extremely, extremely low on the basketball court, so I was completely right about his IQ. In fact, I'd argue that his athletic prowess was not enough to make up for his lackluster IQ. This was due to the fact that multiple times throughout the game, Mario would simply go for offensive boards and, again, as I said, let the offense have a fast break, 2-on-1, because he was behind trying to get rebounds. And even when he did get an offensive rebound, he didn't have the best shot selection. He tried to put it back up multiple times, yet despite his impressive vertical, he was constantly getting blocked, his shots weren't falling, and you could see by that abysmal field goal percentage. Throughout the tournament also, Mario's jumper was a travesty. I pretty much predicted that he would take three-pointers only if he needed to, but the three-pointers he did take were horrible, horrible shot selections. And as I say here, he was shooting off 3 balls like he was Steph Curry, when in reality he was Draymond Green. And that's the truth. In fact, his 3-point percentage is worse than Draymond Green's. And I, again, call back to the basketball IQ, because had he known how to get open off the ball, and, well, he didn't, he would have gotten a lot more open looks. But even then, I don't know if his 3-point percentage would have been that good. So in the end, I come to the conclusion that I agree with the statement that was originally posed at the very beginning of this debate. Mario's rebounds, he can definitely average plus 10 rebounds. But then 30-plus points, I just say that's not even possible. In fact, I even say my estimation of 20 points was like off. He's not even good enough offensively to average 20. However, I don't completely rag on the guy. I mean, Mario does have some upside, as on the defensive end, I mean, you saw those 4 steals. That's 4 steals a game. So he could definitely pick up a more than a few all-defense selections, and maybe even a Defensive Player of the Year selection, too. But I have to say that Mario overall, his athleticism did not make up for his IQ. In fact, Mario's IQ basically hindered his offensive abilities and his athleticism. His game on the offensive end is also way too one-dimensional. As a passer, he was basically just a non-factor. And if he's not going to shoot the ball well and he's not going to pass the ball well, then he's just going to become a one-dimensional player, which is defense. So basically Andre Roberson. And I say too, I say again, if he's going for the Russell Westbrook my career playthrough, he's going to have to learn how to distribute. Otherwise, it's a done deal, and I can't see Mario ballin at all. So anyways, I end this off with Mario's updated NBA stats. I put him down in points all the way to 16, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, a lot of steals, no blocks. I also noticed that Mario defensively was not that good, especially in the paint. He got bullied in the paint. So while on the perimeter he was pretty good at getting steals, contesting shots, in the paint he was just, again, his small stature and his athleticism did not make up for his lack of defense. And of course, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw all went down. Also made the comment that this do be looking like Ben Simmons stats a little bit. Anyways, that ends the great Discord debate. Let me know what you think. Do you have a case for Mario, right? Do he be ballin'? Personally, I don't think so. I think he can definitely be a defensive player of the year, make a bunch of all-defense teams, but offensively, it's just his game is too one-dimensional. He needs to work on just a bunch of things. He's too raw offensively. But yeah, that's my take on it. Let me know what you think. If you like what you saw, please give it a like. Maybe there'll be more Discord debates like this in the future. I mean, we can't write off anything completely. So, subscribe if you want to see more of this. And yeah, take it easy.